Hello YouTube, and welcome to the 16th episode of Race Car Fabrication and Restoration. Hard to believe we've already done 15 of these, but what do they say? Time flies when you're having fun, and we really are having a lot of fun sharing some of our projects with you. We did get the Nova back from the powder coater, as you saw in episode 15, but unfortunately it's still outside on the trailer. I can't get it in here because we got to get some of this other work out. Now, we do this on the side. This is not a full-time job. My son and I actually work for the same company, and we have to do this at nighttime, and we also have to do it on Saturdays. That's kind of the only window we have to work out here, so we stay pretty busy. But we need to knock out this limited modified, and that's what we're going to feature mainly in this episode, as my son Ryan Humphrey goes through here and shows us some of the tricks that he does when he puts a body on for a customer. Hopefully you'll pick up something from it. Maybe it'll help you in how you put the bodies on your car if you do that yourself. And he'll share some of his things he does to add a little strength. Then I'm going to be working on my 88 car. We're taking it to the racetrack next weekend over to Dallas, outside of Dallas rather, but it's Eagle Canyon Raceway up in Decatur, Texas. And that's my track day car, and that's old DEI road racing car. It's the car tomorrow. Was driven by Mark Martin and Eric Amarillo, and it's a fun car to drive. And I go over there when they have the open track days just so I can get my fix. So we're going to do some work on it today and get it ready to load up, and the next episode we'll cover our trip over there as well. So we got a bunch to do here. Still got to try to get some work on the body on this late model back here behind me. So we got a lot to do, but I think today we're primarily going to focus on getting this limited going. So hey, I appreciate you guys watching. Thanks for all the people that subscribe to the channel, and I hope that you will continue to watch and tell your friends about us as well. So stay with us, and we will get going on this thing here behind me and see what we can get into. So stay tuned.
Hey everyone, so we just dropped the Nova at paint earlier this week, so now we were able to slide another project in here. This is a USRA or IMCA Limited Modified stock metric frame. They run these all across the South. This particular car is a relatively new car, but the owner wanted to take and put a different color body on it, so he took it down, powder coated it, and now I'm going to start the process of taking and building all new decking, interior, body, roof, the whole 9 yards. So follow along and I'll try to show you some of the tricks. I'm not a professional by any means, but having done a couple of these, hopefully I'll be able to figure it out. Okay, so one of the things that's going to make this go super fast is that we actually have templates, aka the old body, to kind of follow along on. Now, not everything's going to be exactly the same, but the great news is, rather than having to build from scratch and take and string the car and build out the interior pieces and panel pieces, we can kind of take the old pieces, take and beat them flat, and then take and use those to trace out to make for our new pieces to go in. So it makes it go a little bit faster, other than if you had to start off with just nothing and try to recreate it yourself. So now that we've got our piece cut out, we're actually going to take and put a couple of breaks or folds into it, along with a couple of hems. So the purpose of a hem is just to strengthen the piece, make it a little bit stronger. And then the purpose of the folds are going to be so we can take and tie our decking together as we go down the car. So this first piece we're actually going to bend over here is actually going to be the outside edge of the right side of the car. So what we're going to actually do is, you can see we've actually got a pretty big lip bent over. What we're going to end up doing is taking this 2-inch lip, bending it all the way over, and then coming back and putting a 1-inch fold down in it. That's just going to take and strengthen the outer edge of the car. So when we start riveting or putting body bolts into it, we'll have double thickness of the metal to go through, so it won't be prone to tearing or anything like that. Okay, so after bending that piece, here's what we got. We're gonna zoom in if we can here. So you see we've now got a double fold. This is gonna be the top side. So we've got a double fold there as well as right here, and that's where our rivets or our body bolts will come down. On the other side, we've just got a standard 90, no double fold. That way it can attach back to the decking that's on the car. So now the next thing we're gonna do is there's a piece behind the seat, little trim and piece that kind of comes and ties the deck and behind the seat together. So might be kind of hard to see here, but this piece has actually got a little bit of a radius on it. So we're actually gonna take and use the bead roller. Look down, see it right there. So we're gonna use the bead roller to take and put a really nice radius hem on this piece. You'll kind of see what it looks like when we're done. There's multiple ways to do this. We choose just to take and buy the first step of the hem. There's actually 3 different bits you can buy. We just use the first one, then use a good old trusty hammer to beat the hem down the rest of the way. But so I'll show you kind of a little trick here when it comes to knowing how to take and make sure that you get measured right for your radius. We're actually going to take and use just a washer, just a standard 3/8 washer. Reason being that 3/8 washer is going to have a 1/4 inch roundabout spacing on it. So what that's going to allow us to do is to come and trace just around this radius like so, and then just kind of really rough. So then by doing that, we'll know exactly how much we need to cut off, because then that radius is going to take and fold back on itself, but then we should still end up really close to kind of the same space that it is right now, roughly. So anyway, we'll cut this out and then I'll run through the bead roller and see what it looks like. Okay, now that we've got our piece kind of cut out, you can see we've got a nice little radius here. So we're going to take and run it through the bead roller. There's probably multiple different ways to do this. I typically run it all the way down, so it's just got a pulley on here. So we'll take and till where it's all the way clamped, and then we're going to come off maybe 2 full turns or so, and that'll be a good place to kind of start. Then we'll take and all right, so now we've got the beginnings of a nice round edge. It's going to distort the piece, but once we hammer it out, it's going to be great. So now the end result is we just got a piece, kind of hard to see, but we've got a nice seam on it. See if I can zoom in here where you can kind of see. We've got a nice clean radius all the way down that's not sharp, so if you're putting your hand through to try to get to something, you won't take and nick your hand up or something. Okay, so after we got that piece kind of bead rolled and kind of test fitted, what we've kind of got here, I've got a little trimming still left to do, but let's see if I can zoom in a little bit here for you. So we can see that's the piece that's radiused right here. So it's got a nice clean edge now. And then it takes and meets up really nice with our dash piece. All that is gonna look really, really nice and neat. So we've got a little trimming to do right in here and right in here, but that's kind of to be expected. But so no, it turned out looking really nice. Okay, so now that we've got the deck finished up, well, pretty much anyway, roughed in, we're gonna start working on the nose. So these are the old nose size pieces. Again, makes it very nice that we have a template to work off of. So what we're gonna do is take and hammer this out flat. So we'll have something kind of roughly trace off of. We'll end up taking and adding a couple inches and hemming it so it'll be a little bit stronger. But we're also gonna take and add a little length to it as well to fit a little bit longer bumper. So we'll see how it works out, but first thing we're gonna do is try to get it, just like I said, knocked kind of flat so we can take and try to roughly trace it and use it as a template. Okay, so as we're working on the hood for this Limited, one of the things that looks really good is when you can take and put radiuses when it comes to an edge. And there's a couple different ways to do it. I prefer to use a shrinker and stretcher. So these are some pretty old ones. These are some old US metal ones, but you can get them in Harbor Freight. Same type deal. But essentially what they allow you to do is take a piece, you can put a 90 on it in the brake, and then you can take and come and do a shrink, which is what this would be. And then this is an example of using the stretcher right here. So this is a dash panel for a late model, and you can see you just take, and it lets you take a flat piece of metal with 2 brakes on it, and then take and form it into a radius, and then it gives you an edge to clamp onto or rivet onto, whatever it might be that you're doing. So in this case, this is an example. So if we think about the hood, this is what we want the hood to look like, and you can see it's got a slight radius in it. So just to show an example of how it works, take and just run it through, just put it in a vise, and it might be kind of hard to see, but that's what we end up with. We end up with a flat piece now that's got a 90 on it, that's now got a radius edge, so we can come back and rivet to it or attach to it. So again, there's multiple different ways to do it. You can take, I think Wares makes a clamp, like a hand former. Again, I prefer to use a shrinker and stretcher, and we're going to take and bend this hood up and get ready to install it.
Welcome back, YouTube. And as you can see, Ryan has almost everything done on the car, at least all the hard parts. You still got to do the doors on each side, and then the rear quarter panels on each side. And then we got to do this A-post right here for the driver's side. But other than that, everything's pretty much done. All the hard stuff is done as far as the nose, and then the hood, and then the roof. That's a lot of hard bending, a lot of figuring to get the angles and get your strength bends in it. So he did a really good job. I think the customer's going to really be pleased with this car when he picks it up here, probably within the next couple of days. The car will be finished and be lettered, and then we're going to try to put some pictures of it up on an upcoming episode, and then we'll let you see how the car ended up with his final appearance with the decals and all. But this car belongs to Josh Warren out of Bossier City, Louisiana. He is a really good racer, And I tell you, that Pepsi Blue on the black looks good, looks fast already, and Josh not even behind the wheel yet. So I think it's going to be a good combination. We appreciate Josh letting us do the body work for him, and I think he'll be pleased with it when he gets over here and picks it up. But we appreciate all you guys watching. This was a little bit different. This wasn't restoration. However, we are working on the restoration of the 66 Nova. You might have seen in one of the video clips, we were in the background working on it, and we're going to do an update on that car in the next couple of days, so you can see what progress we made on it already. And then this coming weekend, matter of fact, in just 2 days, we're headed out to Decatur, Texas with the 88 car, our track day car, out to Eagles Canyon Raceway. And we're just going to have some fun out there, and I think you'll enjoy riding along with us, and we'll try to get some neat footage of the car on the track. And I think that was episode 1 or episode 2. We went back and showed you how we built this car and what all we went through. But that's been a kind of, we go out there and just kind of have some fun for a day. So we'll shoot some footage out there for that. So we got that to look forward to. But hey, I appreciate you guys watching. Thank you for everybody who has subscribed already. We're picking up about 25 people per week. And I appreciate it, guys. Just continue to tell your friends about it. And hey, we're just a couple of racers. We got full-time jobs. We do this on the side. We're pretty ate up with it. I've been racing for a long time. We just love doing it. But I appreciate you, those of you who have subscribed. And if you haven't, just hit that like button and subscription button. And all that means is you'll just get a notification whenever we release a new video. Doesn't cost anything. It's free. I know you get tired of me saying that, but there's new people watching all the time. So subscribe to our channel. But thank you so much. And thank you for watching, and we will see you next time on Race Car Fabrication and Restoration. Take care.